If you're a guitar player and you struggle playing bar chords, then this video is for you. My name is Vincent Black and I provide weekly lessons here on YouTube for people who want to take their guitar playing to the next level. A lot of folks struggle with playing bar chords because they experience pain in their hands and they're unable to achieve the clarity that they like by playing the notes that they hope to accomplish whenever they play these chords. By the end of this video, I hope to show you some tips that can help you not only reduce the pain and struggle that it comes to playing your bar chords, but actually help you to where you can get a seamless sound from every time that you try to play your bar chords. Before we continue, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and like that video and go ahead and subscribe now. So without further ado, let's get into it. So picking up on last week's lessons where we covered all of the cowboy chords and classic chords that we went through in our system, there are a few chords that we didn't cover. And the reason we didn't cover them is because they are what is known as bar chords. The reason they are called bar chords is because they require all of our fingers to be pressing down across the fretboard at the same time in order to create the chord that we hope to accomplish. So the first chord we're going to explore is going to be the F chord, which is going to require us to bar across the entire fretboard on the first fret with our index finger. Now sometimes folks have a misconception that your finger needs to be completely straight, which is not the case. We can actually bend the finger a little bit because we only need to activate this index finger on the frets that we're actually going to be playing the notes with. When we create this chord, we're going to have other fingers such as our pinky, our ring, and our middle that are going to create sounds on the fretboard that not only create a beautiful sound, but not only they relieve all the pressure of having to activate every note here on the fretboard. Here's what I mean. When you press down all the way down with your index finger, you can kind of get a sound like this, which can be very stressful and kind of discouraging for other guitar players. So one thing I want you to consider is instead of pressing straight down here with your index finger, try curving it a little bit. Now we're going to press here with the bone of our finger. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to only have to press down on the fretboard for the notes that we actually want to create with our index finger. Now when we build the F chord, what we're going to need is we're going to need our index finger on the first fret of the E string. We're going to need our index finger on the first fret of the B string. And we're also going to need our index finger on the first fret of the E string. Now, the rest of the chord is built in such a way to where we're able to take our middle finger, press it on the second fret of the G string. We can put our pinky on the third fret of the D string. And we can take our ring finger and put it on the third fret of the A string. So naturally what that does is that prevents us from having to press down so hard on the A, D, and G strings with our index fingers now that these frets are actually activated. So really all we have to do is take our index finger and press across here to the first fret of the low E string. And then you can take this piece right here of your finger, right where the first knuckle bend occurs, and just press that up against these two strings here. So all that you've got to do to build this chord is we're going to have our index finger on our E string, first fret, B string, first fret, middle finger, second fret, pinky, third fret, ring finger, third fret, and then use our index finger to just kind of curve in and just press this first fret on the E string. And to strum this out one note at a time, we get a full, beautiful sounding bar chord without having to actually press our fingers straight down across the fretboard. The next phrase I want to show you is going to be the B minor shape. This is going to be started on the A string. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take that entire philosophy of pressing down with our index finger here on the lowest note that we want to play here, and we're going to move that down to this A string. And what that does is that only requires us to press down across 5 strings here. which makes it a lot easier. So now all that we've got to do in order to build a B minor chord is we're going to take our middle finger, we're going to place it on the 3rd fret of the B string. We're going to take our pinky, press it down on the 4th fret of the G string. We're going to take our ring finger, press it on the 4th fret of the D string. And then all that leaves is this 2nd fret here for our index finger on the high E string, and then the 2nd fret of the A string here with the tip of our index finger. So all that we've got to do is just create enough pressure to activate this 2nd fret right here, and use the tip of our finger to create the 2nd fret here. And so walking that back again, that's going to be index on the 2nd fret of the E string, middle finger of the 3rd fret of the B string, 4th fret of the G string with our pinky, 4th fret of the D string with our ring finger, and then the index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And that's what creates the B minor chord. And so there you have it. That's the basis of playing bar chords on the guitar. There are other variations which we will be covering in a future lesson, but for now, let's just try those 2 chords and see how you do. Let me know in the comments on what you thought went well. Let me know down in the comments what you thought you struggled with, and let's get better together. And until then, I'll see you again next week for a new lesson.